Hello, and welcome back. This is V here, Pam's behind the camera today. And today I am bringing you something different. We've never cooked with beets on the channel before, and we have a few recipes this season. And I'm putting an Indian twist to beet. I have grated a whole beet, and what I did is, so here's a good idea. Whenever you get like beets with the greens or carrots with the greens, what I do is I just wash it, chop it, and I put it in a bag and I put it in the freezer. Then when I cook spinach, I throw these in with the spinach.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and you never know the difference.
And you get a little bit of a different nutritional, the minerals and stuff are different in the different greens.
Because I tried putting the beet greens in a salad, and the stem kind of, it's rough to chew. It wasn't really palatable. So as like, and then when you tear just the leaf, it's not enough for a salad. So I was like, let me try something different with this. So that's what I did. I've chopped it up and I put it in the freezer because I didn't, and they do go bad really quick. So that's why I wanted to freeze it. So I have, these were about, it was a bundle of 4 beets and whatever greens they had, the stem up. I just washed it, chopped it up, and I froze it in this little baggie. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a vegetable out of it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna label it as Beet ki Sabji. That's what we're gonna call it. And I have very simple ingredients here. It's a very, very simple yet very delicious recipe. And when you put it on the rice, it looks really gorgeous. It really does.
I would think so, with the purple of the beet and everything.
Yeah, it just looks really gorgeous. So what I did is I just grated one whole beet. It was a big beet, so I just peeled it, washed it, and grated up. And I have about 2 onions here. I have 5 tomatoes here.
So you use the red onion. Can you use any kind of onion?
Yeah, you can use any kind of onion. I just have these, so I'm using that. And then I have, this is about a 2-inch piece of ginger, and I have a bunch of garlic. Let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 11 cloves of garlic. And I have 1 pack of spinach.
Frozen spinach?
Frozen spinach. Yeah. If you have fresh, you can use it. I always have frozen spinach.
How much is this? It's a 12 ounce. This is a 12 ounce.
Yeah. 12 ounce, and then I have some of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook these together first, and then I'm going to tell you how to get through the recipe. So what I do first is I throw my beet greens in here, in my Ninja. Then I'm going to open up my spinach. I did not want to make a mess, but I am making a mess. I can't get it open. Alright. Okay. I'm going to toss the spinach in there. And then I have some broth.
And we do have a recipe. We'll link that recipe down below.
Yeah, we will.
You can buy store-bought broth. Just look at the ingredients.
Yeah, just look at the ingredients. And what I like to do is throw my broth in my baggie so I can
get all the greens
out. And then
throw that was about a cup.
Yeah. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more because I have some greens in here too. So about another half cup.
Maybe, yeah.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pressure cook this. I'm gonna pressure cook it for 2 minutes. Just to get the beet greens and the spinach softer. Because there's stems in there, I want them to cook. So I'm gonna let this go for about 2 minutes.
So if you were doing it, you could do this on the stove top. Just bring it up to a boil, bring it back to a simmer, little simmer, and maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes. You want to let it go, let it soften.
So those stems will be soft.
Yeah. And then what I usually do is I come in with an immersion blender and kind of like pulse it. Just I don't want the uniform.
You don't want it all blended.
Yeah,
you just want some chunks in it too.
Yes. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna let this go, pressure cook for a little bit, for 2 minutes. And while that's happening, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna chop up my veggies and get these going, and then I'll come back and show you how to put everything together. Okay, so my spinach is cooked. And as you can see, I just took the immersion blender and I just blended it some. See, there's still some texture to it. And you can still see the stems from the beets in there too. See?
Looks good. Smells good too.
Yeah. And all we did was cook it with some broth. And what I have, I just cleared up the Ninja. You can see there's still spinach guts in there.
Just a little bit of spinach on the edge.
I'm not clearing it up. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna throw my onions, garlic, and ginger in there. I'm gonna cook it down just a little bit, and then when these are cooked down, I'm gonna add the spices and the tomatoes, and then throw everything in there and let it go for a minute. So I'm gonna show you how to get the onions going. I'm just gonna put everything in there, and I am not using any oil. And if it starts to stick, I'm gonna use broth that I have here. So for right now, I'm gonna let it start cooking.
And this is the same as you would do on the cooktop, on the stove.
Yeah.
You know, just done in the Ninja.
Yeah. So
on that sear setting, the saute setting.
Yeah, the sear saute setting. So I'm gonna let this go. It's gonna take a minute for it to start cooking. So as it cooks down, I'll come back and show you what to do. Alright, so my onions have been cooking and they started to stick on the bottom. So what I did is I used my broth to get it all up, and you can see my onions have cooked down now. And I'm gonna add my tomatoes in.
I'm standing over here over the spinach and the beet greens, and I can really smell that earthiness. I think the spinach and beets have that earthy flavor.
Yeah.
So I can really smell that. Yeah. I love beets. So.
Yeah. It's really, if you're someone who doesn't like the flavor of beets, if you cook it this way, I promise you, it does not. A lot of people complain about that dirt taste. It does not taste like that at all.
Beets are pretty mild and have that earthy flavor.
Yeah. It does. It tastes completely different. And I tell you, if I try to test it out with my kids a lot, and if they eat it and they don't complain about it, let me tell you, they're not.
It's kid approved.
Yeah. And I was surprised. I'll tell you. My kids get vegan croissants from Whole Foods, and there was something they were eating. I think they made a sandwich out of it or something, and I put a little vegan mayonnaise in my daughter's croissant, and I gave it to her, and she took a bite, and she immediately looked at me, and it was funny because she's sitting, like right across from me, and she just looked at me like that, and I didn't look because I wanted her to finish whatever she had. So I didn't look, but then she kept looking, and then I was like, okay, what? And she goes, what did you put in this? And I was like, I didn't put anything. And she looked up and down, and she goes, you put mayonnaise in this. I was like, yeah, I put a little bit, She goes, next time don't put it. Okay, fine, all good. She's like, yeah, just don't put mayonnaise in my sandwich. I was like, okay, fine then. So, if I didn't expect her to, pick that mayonnaise part out, but she did. So when they don't say anything and they eat it, it's like, okay, they ate it, they didn't figure out. So I tried this recipe with the kids, and they couldn't figure out what the beet, that there was beet in there, that it tasted different. They couldn't say anything. They did say that it looked pretty. The rice looked pretty. When you put it on top of rice, it has that color. So that's all they said. So if you're someone who's on the edge of trying beets, try this recipe because it does taste really good. So now coming back, all I'm gonna do is add some salt in here.
So how much is that?
Teaspoon and a half. Okay. A little bit of cayenne.
And we'll put the amounts and everything down below.
Yeah. And about a teaspoon of dry mango powder, and then a teaspoon of turmeric, and that's it. Look at me, I didn't go all crazy with the whole box. But this is all we need in here, the garlic and the ginger, they really bring out the taste of everything else. So I don't really over bombard it with spices. So all I put was salt, cayenne, dry mango powder, and turmeric. Now I'm gonna put the spinach back in here. And I am gonna put the beets in here.
That'll really pretty it up.
Yeah.
And you get those purple beets with the
all
their juice.
Yeah. And then just mix everything up. And then I'm gonna pressure cook this for another minute so the beet can cook through and all the flavor gets soaked into everything. It already smells good. And look at the color.
And this, you could do this on the cooktop as well.
Yeah, you can, always. For me, the Ninja is convenient.
Quick, one pot.
Yeah. And yeah, this is a little longer than our other recipe, but you know what? It's worth it. It really is. And I'm gonna add the rest of the broth I had in here.
And
I had about a cup. In total, it was a cup.
Yeah.
And I am just gonna let this pressure cook for another minute. And then I'm gonna let the pressure hold. And then when it releases naturally, that's when I'm gonna open it up and we're gonna eat it. Okay. So my spinach, my beet sabji is cooked.
Let's see all the steam.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, it smells good. Oh, you can smell the beet still,
yeah.
though. I mean,
you can smell it.
Yeah.
And when you eat it, it tastes good. Like it doesn't.
It's not an overwhelming beet
flavor.
flavor.
It's not. It's not. It's really not. Let me take this out and show you. I'm trying to keep myself from getting burned. It's an occupational hazard.
Yeah.
I was doing something with the kids yesterday and I was about to get stuff out of the oven without the mitts and Tia was like, "Mom, you're gonna get burned." I was like, yeah, I am gonna get burned. And you know, all the stuff that you can see in here is the onions and the garlic, and if you don't want that, you could go in with an immersion blender and, you know, blend it up a little bit. But I like it like this, you know.
I like to have a little texture.
Yeah, I like to have a little texture. And when you bite uncooked garlic, it's not super garlicky, you know. So I like it that way. But look how pretty this is.
It is. It's such a beet color.
Yeah. Here you have it.
Steamy hot.
Yeah, and it smells.
You know, the beets in there almost look like tomatoes.
Yeah.
And the greens, the beet greens.
So it really tastes good, really. You should try it out and tell me how you like it. So before we head on out, tell me if you are a beet person or you're the anti-beet person. We'd love to know that because this is the first time we're bringing you recipes of beets. You know, we've heard from a lot of people. We've heard a lot of mixed opinions.
I know my kids are non-beet people, but I love beets.
Yeah. So my daughter, she loves it, and she loves it when I boil it and I put a little bit of salt, pepper, and I put a little bit of lemon on it, and she loves it. She loves
lemon or a little vinegar. That's how I grew up, was just a little tiny bit of vinegar on your beets.
Yeah. So and I love it. You know, I love it this way. I love it. However, I do like beets. I don't like them raw. I know a lot of salad bars keep them raw. I don't like them raw. That's not my thing.
Pickled is not my thing.
Yeah, pickled isn't. I like it cooked. Either this way or, you know, my mom used to do this. She used to boil it and, you know, serve it with salad, just salt, pepper, and lemon. And that's how my daughter likes it. My son does not like it. The smell gets to him and he was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna. So, I know a lot of people do say that because even my brothers say that, you know, the smell. And I'm like, well, go beyond the smell, just try it. It's like mushroom with some people, you know, the smell gets to them. But try the recipe out. Tell us if you're a beet person or not. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And we will check you back right here next week. Till then, bye.
Bye.